And your son took that from me. Stole that from me. Killed that from me! People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
Call him Baba Yaga.
The boogeyman?
Well, John wasn't exactly the boogeyman. He was the one you sent to kill the fucking boogeyman.
He wasn't supposed to be a legend, just another killer, a man with a past and a murdered dog. But behind John Wick lies something bigger, a bloodline of warriors, outlaws, and ghosts, each one writing a piece of his story long before he ever picked up a gun. The silence of a samurai, the precision of a French assassin, the rhythm of Hong Kong gunfights, and the code of honor born from the East. John Wick isn't just a movie. He's the echo of everything that came before. So sit back and get comfortable, because today we uncover the classic masterpieces that inspired John Wick.
The biggest challenge? Not letting the directors down.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was about, because, they come from a stunt background.
Yeah.
And it's their first film, and I've known the directors for 15 years. And I sent them the project John Wick.
Oh.
And so there was this, we'd worked together and, on the Matrix trilogy, and now it's their first picture, and they have a real vision for it. And I love the project, and so it just added something personal to it. And so I just wanted, and they had an ambition for the action, and I always want to do the best, but this made it like family.
The movie's original title was Scorn, but Keanu Reeves loved the name John Wick so much that he kept calling it that way, until the studio finally gave in and changed the official title. And that decision captured the essence of what Wick would become, a name with mythic weight, grounded in something deeply human: loyalty, legacy, and loss. Kolstad and directors Chad Stahelski and David Leitch built John Wick as a tribute to cinema. They drew from film noir, spaghetti westerns, Hong Kong gung fu, and the Bushido code of movies of Akira Kurosawa, Masaki Kobayashi, and Jim Jarmusch's The Ghost Dog. Stahelski often cited Sergio Leone, William Friedkin, and Sam Peckinpah as guiding lights, filmmakers who made violence operatic and moral, who saw the poetry in chaos. From them came the blueprint for Wick's world, a sleek, stylized underworld with mythic rules and unspoken honor, a place where killing could feel like ritual, not spectacle. At its core, John Wick is a samurai story told with bullets instead of blades. Kurosawa's Yojimbo and Seven Samurai defined the idea that violence only has meaning when bound by honor. Like the samurai, Wick lives by ritual, preparing his weapons with precision, pausing before he kills, respecting the lines he cannot cross. The Continental Hotel's no-kill rule is his dojo's sacred ground. In 1967, Jean-Pierre Melville gave us Le Samouraï, and John Boorman delivered Point Blank. Both films introduced the concept of the existential hitman, silent, methodical, detached. Alain Delon's Jeff Costello walked through Paris like a ghost, just as Wick glides through New York's neon haze. The minimalist interiors, the isolation, the methodical precision. Wick inherits it all. Even the way he puts on his suit echoes Melville's philosophy. The perfect killer must look like no one at all.
Butui.
I want my 93 grand. I want my money.
What we see at the beginning of the movie is someone seemingly helpless, outnumbered by a bunch of wannabe criminals who steal Keanu Reeves' car and kill his dog. But when Viggo Tarasov meets his son and beats him in rage, he delivers one of the most defining lines in the film. "It's not what you did, son. It's who you did it to." That moment reveals who this effing nobody really is. The man you send to kill the boogeyman. It's as legendary and creepy as encountering the bear juice scene or Charles Bronson's Man with the Harmonica, because when people hear that harmonica, they already know what to expect. Death is coming. The dog in John Wick represents the bridge that connects him to humanity, to hope, to love, to good memories related to his wife. The presence of the dog guaranteed John Wick's loyalty to the peace he made with his past. Killing the dog is a breach of code, and John Wick's vengeance is to hunt down those who dishonor old code, and it has since become his purpose.
It's John Wick. He once was an associate of ours.
John Wick gave us an interpretation of the bear scene in Ghost Dog. His vengeance is an answer to what would happen to the bear hunters if they left unpunished and not learning their lesson. If in Ghost Dog killing without need or honor desecrates the order of things, thus Ghost Dog executes the violators of code. He says in ancient cultures, bear were equal to humans, to which the dying hunters responds, "This ain't no ancient civilization." "Sometimes it is," the Ghost Dog replies. This line declares his mission, to impose an older honor on a corrupt present. If Ghost Dog seeks balance, John Wick shakes the corrupt system. He destroys every element, purifying it by rightful vengeance and a justified wrath. It is you who resurrected old John Wick. Both are samurais, both follow Bushido. If Ghost Dog picked the path to enforce the order voluntarily, John Wick was forced to pick a sword and fight the corrupt. John Wick was forced to pick a sword and fight the corrupt system. When John Woo arrived in the 1980s, action cinema changed forever. The killer and hard-boiled transformed gunfights into choreography. Bullets as brushstrokes, doves as metaphors. John Wick borrows Woo's rhythm. That mix of grace and brutality. Every reload, every fall, every headshot becomes part of a dance. Stahelski studied Woo's visual grammar. Long takes, spatial clarity, emotion through movement. The result is a gun fu, a conversation between Hong Kong and Hollywood that never ends. Beyond the guns, John Wick draws from the martial arts revolution of the 2010s. The bone-crunching realism of the raid and its Indonesian fighting style inspired Wick's judo, jiu-jitsu, and close-quarters choreography. It's not wire fu, it's physics. Every throw, every fall, every reload feels earned. Violence as a ballet, but grounded in sweat and pain. Sergio Leone's westerns gave Wick his mythic tone. The quiet gunslinger, driven by revenge, defined by loss. Wick, like Eastwood's Drifter, speaks less and means more. Even the way Stahelski frames a duel, wide, patient, respectful, recalls the showdowns of Once Upon a Time in the West. Replace dust with rain and you have the same poetry of death. Beneath the style lies structure, a criminal society ruled by etiquette. The High Table and the Continental echo the mafia codes of The Godfather and Goodfellas. Like Coppola's Dons, Wick's assassins speak the language of respect and consequence. The gold coins, the blood oath, they're symbols of loyalty and transaction, not currency. Stahelski called it a myth built on order, and that order feels like cinema's own religion. The John Wick universe is noir reborn in LED light. The neon, the rain, the reflections, straight from 1970s crime thrillers like The Driver and Taxi Driver. Wick's New York is both dream and nightmare, a cathedral of violence. The city watches him, tests him, and in the end, becomes his mirror. Everything Wick learned about movement came from The Matrix. Keanu Reeves trained for years with the same stunt team, and Chad Stahelski, his former double, carried that discipline into John Wick. The symmetry, the precision, the philosophy of control, all born in the digital dojo of the late 90s. John Wick became The Matrix Unplugged. No simulation, just raw consequence. In the end, John Wick stands as a fusion, a modern myth forged from decades of cinema, from Kurosawa's Samouraï to Melville's Hitmen, from Woo's Gun Fu to Leone's Gunman. Every shot, every silence, every shadow carries their echo. That's the genius of John Wick. It feels new because it remembers. Keep watching, keep feeling, and never stop chasing the beauty of cinema.